Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. And I get sent pictures, videos, emails, and links. And if there's anything that you want to send me for a video, my email is in the description box below. So this first email comes in from a community member. She said Singapore is having a surge of Mr. 19 and they're telling their citizens to get the boost. Some have opened that the solar surge damaged people's tickets, really. So they are urging the boost. That's quite a wild stretch. Yeah, no kidding, because that can't, whatever. But in looking at the patents, maybe it's not the selection year contagion. See ya. Huh. So she left me a link. So the link will be in the description box below. Okay. So here's an email from a community member. She said, yesterday I went to my local CVS to get amoxicillin prescribed by my dentist. There was a paper prescription, not the direct automatic online stuff that the prompt care nearby does. In other words, just like the 1950s. I had intended to just pay for it, just like the 1950s, but was told there was no charge. This blew my mind. Well, sometimes I do know this. Sometimes with some of those, there is no charge. Like I know here at the grocery store Publix, okay, all antibiotics are free, okay? But I didn't know about CVS. So that's good to know. She said the clerk explained that they know everything just like the CIA. Despite never having been to a doctor or pharmacy since turning 65, they knew I had Medicare Part D, and this is why it was free. Okay. Oddly, when I signed up for the Part D, I told them that Walmart, not CVS, was my pharmacy. So now the CIA knows I haven't seen a doctor's office maybe since 2019. And since nurses have replaced doctors, I know, strange, isn't it? It could be argued I haven't seen one since 2010 or so. It's a weird world. Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, you're so right. What, like if you go to like the ER or something, you always see a nurse or a PA, a physician's assistant. You never see an actual doctor. Make that make sense. Yeah. But when they bill you as if you have seen a doctor. And it's like, I never saw him. I never saw him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so here is an email from my bestie in the UK. She said, so for the last few years, I've been having a lot of trouble with my stomach, along with other digestive issues and some more surprising things. I couldn't work out what it was until now. I mentioned this to my doctor and told her all of my symptoms. And of course, straight away, I was fobbed off with the sounds like you have IBS. And there was no more follow up to it. And I didn't do anything about my diet either. IBS. Well, I mean, they're okay. She said, so it's no surprise that as time has gone on with my problems, I have become much worse. The worst things for me were feeling bloated and uncomfortable for several hours straight after eating, immediately becoming full of excessive gas, which was the most foul smelling ever. Not to mention all the trips to the toilet up to 4 times a day, every day, plus all the frequent diarrhea. I realized that eating foods made with pastry were making things gluten. I'm just calling it out right now before I even get through the entire email. Gluten. So I cut those things out, only a negligible improvement, but I was on the right track as sausage rolls, quiche, and pies have pastry in common which in turn have gluten from the wheat flour. You have celiacs. My nephew. I mean, look at what we're going through with him. She said, before Christmas, I had a telephone appointment with my doctor. She was wanting me to have a blood test, as my last one was in 2019. So long overdue. I just had mine done. She said, I told her about my digestive issues, so she said she would have my blood tested for celiacs, which turned out to be negative. No shit. So you just have a gluten intolerance? Is that what this is? However, I have discovered you don't have to have full-blown celiacs in order to have gluten intolerance or sensitivity. That's right. That's right. Because honestly, I found out, like, ever since Gavin moved in with us, we have gone, because he's total gluten-free because of his celiacs. So we in turn have cut out a lot of gluten in our diet. And I've noticed that Sean and I feel a lot better too, because Sean had, okay, here I am, TMI, Sean had IBS. He no longer has that. Yeah. And I had digestive issues as well. I no longer have that either. So, she said, after doing research into this, I discovered that wheat and barley are now genetically modified to produce more gluten that they were producing 30 to 40 years ago and long before that. The problem is that wheat flour is being added to the majority of processed foods, and therefore people are consuming far more gluten than they realize. So, of course, this is overconsumption of gluten. It's causing millions of people to have issues with gluten now, in combination with the wheat crops having much more gluten in them too. Your video the other week, titled The Secret Covenant, talked about tampering with our food. Not that I needed to hear this from anyone. This is why gluten is causing so many problems for people around the world, not to mention poisonous pesticides. Exactly, girl. Exactly. I mean, literally, if Gavin even eats, I mean, the tiniest speck of gluten, I mean, his body is like World War III. It tears him apart. And I mean, literally. And we just found out that he had celiacs 2 years ago. And he's 26 years old. Okay. Yes. So she said, also fattening up livestock quicker for slaughter is also cutting corners and tampering with our food, but not allowing the livestock to grow and fatten at nature's pace. I now have been strictly gluten-free for 9 days. And within 2 days, I noticed huge improvements with all the things I have having issues with. Toilet problems being the number one thing to improve straight away. Yes. When I'm done here, I will, if you want, I'll email you like my literal shopping list that I do for Gavin every single month. And like with his pasta, because like the regular, like it'll just say like gluten-free pasta. You want to talk about cardboard. Get the chickpea pasta, the red lentil pasta, the gluten-free macaroni and cheese is good. I will say that. Okay. But the gluten-free pizza, which is made out of cauliflower, is superb. I will say that. I'm just trying to think. They do have like gluten-free, like you can have all the potatoes that you want. You can have all of the fruits, all the veg that you want, all the chicken, all the meats and stuff that you want. It's just pretty much like the gluten-free bread you have to go to now, the gluten-free pasta you have to go to now. There's even gluten-free rice that you have to eat now. Yeah. Here, hang on, I'll show you. Hang on just a second. Okay, so like these, okay, these are actually gluten-free. Okay. Here is the chickpea pasta, it's gluten-free. Here is the red lentil pasta that's gluten-free. This is the gluten-free macaroni and cheese. It's Walmart brand, but who cares, And this is the gluten-free, it's BPA free, the wild brown and wild rice. Okay, this is gluten-free too. So, like I said, like, you literally have to watch every single thing that you put in your mouth, literally, especially if you have celiac. It's insane. Um, like tonight for dinner, I did turkey. Even when you're buying meats, you have, like, if it says smoked or has barbecue or anything, can't eat it because you don't know if it's got preservatives or gluten or whatever the case. And you have to buy, just regular stuff, raw, whatever. No pre-cooked, nothing. Okay. Ham, fine. But, nothing that has a glaze, nothing. Um, like tonight I made turkey with dried Great Northern beans. I put everything in my Instapot um, with water and onions and gluten-free butter. Yeah, gluten-free butter, garlic, cilantro, olive oil, and I cooked everything, and he ate like 3 bowls of it, and he loves it. Now, like for me and Sean, I did make cornbread. I do have a recipe for gluten-free cornbread, so I just have to go get the stuff to make it. But it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride to go completely gluten free. I will say that. Okay, but onto this. So she said, however, I do have a problem with concern with my preps. I know. I know. With Gavin, he now has his own shelving unit and he has his own freezer. So you're going to have to phase some stuff out. Now, if shite were to hit the fan, girl, it's either you or the pasta. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, okay? I would just eat it in moderation. Literally, but what I would do is start buying your gluten-free stuff now. Yes, it is more expensive, okay? Just buy in moderation, okay? She said all of the pasta, any flour, and other things that contain durum wheat and or wheat flour now have to be gotten rid of and replaced with gluten-free alternatives. Right, I know, and it's a sad thing, but I know. Well, maybe you can barter. You know what I mean? Barter your stuff. Be like, I'll give you all of this pasta. I have 100 pounds of pasta, and give me, like, you know, if you have chicken or what, you know what I mean? So it goes without saying, I'm not at all amused, but hey ho, it is what it is. I feel like my prepping journey is going to have to start all over again now. And of course, it's going to be more expensive to replenish things due to price increases. However, Sainsbury's Supermarket have their own range of gluten pastas, only available in 500-gram packets at a cost of 75 pence per pack. So it's not bad at all, and I can certainly stock up on various pasta, which won't cost mega dollars compared to the local co-op, which charges £2.75 for 500-gram pack for the brand they stock. So it isn't their own brand either. So that's it from me. Okay. The mac and cheese, I believe it's like $1.75. This for the 2-pack is like $1.75. These are like $3. It's only an 8 ounce, but it's just Gavin eating it, so he can get 2 meals out of these. But still in all, listen, you really have to stick with this. You really truly do. And I know it stinks to high heaven, but when it comes to your health, girl, you know what I mean? And like I said, keep some of that pasta, use it for bartering, okay? Use it for bartering. That's all I can tell you, okay? I love you. Okay, so now I'm going to put up a picture for you, but I'm going to read a little bit of it to you, okay? And this is about McDonald's and their price increases. Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, okay? And it's all about price increases from the end of 2019 to now. Medium French fry, okay, 2019, $1.79. Now, $4.79. McChicken, $1.29 to $3.89. A Big Mac, $3.99 to $7.49. And no, this is not for the meals, it's just for the sandwich themselves. 10-piece McNugget for $49 to $7.58. Cheeseburger, $1 to $3.15. Now for Taco Bell, okay, beefy 5-layer burrito was $1.69 in 2019. Now it's $3.69. Nachos Bel Grande was $3.29. Now it's $5.89. Spicy potato soft taco was $1. Now it's $1.19. Cheesy bean and rice burrito was $1. Now $1.19. Crunch Wrap Supreme was $3.49. Now it's $5.29. Chick-fil-A, let's see, deluxe chicken sandwich at 2019 was $3.65. Now it's $6.55. 8-piece nugget was $3.05. Now it's $5.99. 4-piece chicken strip, $4.39. Now it's $7.85. Medium waffle fry was $1.65. Now it's $2.99. And a large milkshake was $3.15. Now it's $5.19. Huge price spikes. Huge. So here's some inspiration coming at you from a community member. She said, "Good evening, all. Cleared out 12 pounds of butter on the freezer to make and can my own ghee. It's actually quite simple, but takes some time. Bought butter when it was $1.99 and froze it until I had enough. Azor price for ghee. Just wow, 23 pints, all sealed. Didn't pay 10.53 for one either. Always pray for the peace of Jerusalem and everywhere, my love." No kidding. So if you were to buy it through Azor, it's 10.53 for 7.8 ounce. That's absurd. And here are some step-by-step pictures on how to make ghee from our lovely community member. Now, here is an email from a community member, and she sent in some pictures too. She said, "I had a whole lot of free onions I had to deal with. So I peeled them one evening and then sliced them and caramelized them. Then it got so late, so I put them in the fridge to finish the next day. Well, next day, about mid-morning, I discovered the tank on my toilet cracked. You have luck for shit like I do," she said. "When I walked in the bathroom, mind you, it was fine that morning. When I got up, I discovered a wet carpet. Yes, my personal bath had carpet. I hated stepping on cold floors. I have bath mats. Who cares?" She said, "Well, onions are on hold while I turn off the water to the toilet and end up having to clean out the bathroom. I had a freestanding cabinet for towels, soap, etc. to remove, as well as the cabinet shelf that surrounds the toilet. As preppers, and that room is large, I also had a freestanding metal shelf unit that I used recently to put in there to hold my stock of toiletries, toilet paper packages, as well as extra medical preps. Even went so far as to hide large wicker hampers on the shelves." Well, slow start to a demo. As I did all that, I also stopped to make the broth and can the onions. Since we slow down as we get older, you too. The only progress I made that day was emptying of the room, canning, and then removing carpet and padding. So the next morning, I started removing the wet flooring. This was a mess. Crumbling pressed board floors. Oh dear. Getting my butt down to also clean out the crumbling mess as I was taking it out from under the floor as it fell on the vapor barrier under the house. Oh, mind you, jars of French onion soup still sitting all over the kitchen counter. Drag a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood from across the yard, big country yard, because we are too old to carry stuff anymore. Gather miscellaneous pieces of 2x6 scrap lumber that we save for some furniture unknown disaster. to now cut to scab in between joist for the edges of plywood to rest on. Again, getting my big old butt down on the joist to nail these in, only to discover how hard it is to drive a nail through aged boards. So had to pre-drill holes for the nails, more up and down balancing acts to perform on the floor joist. Finally got them all in and cut my plywood for the size hole, then measured to cut out for the drain and the water line. Last minute was starting to second guess my old carpentry skills, which used to be really good because I even built a house myself when I was younger and more fit. But I marked my for my holes and I was on the money. I decided to rip the plywood in half where I would fall it would fall on the drain so I could make a snug fit under the lip of the drain. At this point, normally I'd still have half a day to start laying my 3/4 inch wood flooring. But as I'm older now, it started to get late and I end up just cleaning up my mess and putting my tools away. Finally get that done and walk into the kitchen and jars are screaming at me. So I have to remove rings, wash jars before I can go take a much deserved soak in the tub. So this is a picture of my clean jars. The following morning, back is now screaming at me. Bath is screaming at me to finish laying new wood flooring. And grass outside is laughing at me because it's growing like a weave just to taunt me. Screw the bathroom. She said, you need to come give me a trim. Me thinking, you can both wait. I'm going to spend some time with my chickens and put you both in timeout for a while. Hope you're having a better day. Even in the middle of chaos, we still got to prep. Oh, I, I can't, I don't want to. So here's her pictures. Okay, so this article was sent in by a community member. I'll read a little bit of it to you and then I'll put the link in the description box below. A highly popular dog food blend has been voluntarily recalled for risk of containing loose metal. The product in question is the 44-pound size bags of Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition grilled steak and vegetable flavored dry food, dog food, that are sold at Walmart. There are 315 bags impacted in 4 states: Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. The best buy date is March 4th, 2025. Lot code, which is located on the bottom back of the bag near the barcode, is 410B2TXT02. The dog food was recalled, was sold in 176 stores. So here's some inspiration coming at you. She said, "Good morning. Hope you're having a blessed day. I got up early as usual, did all of my chores, then decided to weed the rest of the garden, strawberry, chooks, herbs, and raspberry bushes. So far, all's growing well, and the bunnies love the strawberries." The bunnies love the strawberries. I love it. Oh, wow. So pretty. So here's an email from a community member, and she said, "Girl, I don't know what's going on, but fighter jets have been flying over our house over 20 minutes or so today. Some of them we can see, and they are in formations of 2 or 3, and some of them seem to be camouflaged because you can't see a thing in the sky. The camouflaged ones are very low. The birds are flipping out. We live in Western North Carolina, and there's no military base near us. I have been told that they train here for the Middle East because the terrain is similar, but I am not sure about that. This is not normal at all. Usually we hear jets once a week, maybe, or once every few weeks. Also, I just heard from my husband. He's working north of here near the North Carolina Virginia line. He said F-15s were flying overhead all day, only about 400 feet away." Ooh, something is definitely up. Definitely. Uh-oh, someone's been busy making tomato jam. Of course, all the ingredients are free, minus the sugar and the spices that she had. 19 pints and a mouth of deliciousness, she said. Amazing. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one, okay? You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less.